Hello. Let's summarize the key outlooks and implications of CES 2026. This year was the era of artificial intelligence and robots, and in the CES field, the four key keywords are robots, artificial intelligence, digital health, and mobility. Quantum computing has been a highlighted trend since last year. Worth a look. It's about the emergence of innovators. So, when I look at this picture, I wonder, as I mentioned last year, what will be the device after the smartphone? However, the devices that are prominently emerging from that are smart glasses, and then there are also many earbuds coming out. Then, it would be good for us to take a look at the content aspects together. New tech display. 2 media days. 15 days left. Main show. 4 days. Looking at this year, it's a bit disappointing that Samsung Electronics is absent from the central hall. It seems like it will be quite symbolic. In exhibitions dominated by Japanese companies like Sony, Samsung, and LG, our country's companies have become quite central at CES, and now TCL is taking a spot in Samsung Electronics' exhibition area. This part is quite symbolic, and due to the competition with China, the home appliance sector, which has been doing well, is facing significant difficulties, so I hope they can endure and do well in the future. In Central Hall, home appliances. Then West Hall and Central Plaza show mobility areas. Then finally, the Eureka Park section. Startups. Venetian Expo. Smart Home /Sports /Fitness. North Hall. IoT /Sensors /Smart City /AI. K-Humanoid 2. You can explore accessory design in the South Hall. There will be the LBC campus and the Venetian campus. Lately, exhibitions and conferences are more important. If you've attended any conferences, please share what you learned with the group or team. Skip the conference. Focus on corporate trends. This year, 150,000 people are expected to participate according to CTA, and it seems like it will be very crowded, so we should prepare in advance. There are various topics, but CTA has highlighted 4. But if you think about it, AI and robotics were quite the issue this year. And next, there will be the mobility sector. Then, in digital, CTA has picked 4 keywords. On September 24, CTA CEO Gary Shapiro visited. And another interesting point is that the book Pivot or Die, written by CEO Gary Shapiro, was translated by former COEX President Lee Dong-gi. And according to the article, about 400 copies were purchased. They say they will hold a signing event for Koreans on site. It might be good to take note of it. Our country now plays a very important role at CES. And I hope that point isn't overly distorted. Excluding the US and China, our country is doing well. But as the US-China concentration intensifies, the important question is how far we can take the market. I wish all participating companies great success. 9/25. Gary Shapiro, CTA visited. Many lawmakers going too. And since many government officials are attending, we can expect good results at the government level with them. When we look at the changes in innovation awards, there's definitely the EdTech part, which is quite a concern. Universities are also facing many concerns. The process of determining what kind of talent we will cultivate after 4 years of education and the process by which students then get jobs has been disrupted. The emergence of AI is also a factor. Also, our recession's impact is clear. Lately, jobs and hiring are worrying many people here too, right? Anyway, it seems that the EdTech area was aiming for that. And for now, what's emerging in EdTech is many technologies that assist learning through Vision AI and LLMs. Then, there are enterprise tech solutions for businesses. The next thing we need to look at is the filmmaking and distribution sectors. In connection with KPOP, K entertainment tech, and K culture. This will likely be an important area for us to focus on. Supply and logistics and travel and tourism are now newly established. And now that the CS Foundry has been established, if anyone is going to the hotel, please let me know. I probably won't be able to go, but a community-driven conference space will be provided over 2 days, focusing on a blockchain and quantum technology. Our country's major companies include Samsung, which has moved to the Wynn Hotel. Hyundai and Duzan are participating, and Hyundai Mobis and HL Mondo also seem to be major companies. In US big tech, watch closely Amazon, Google, Indie, and Qualcomm, especially Google, which renewed its showcase this year. Also, make sure to catch AMD's Chinese firm participation, Lenovo, Hisense, TCS, threats from Chinese appliances, and Chinese Europe, PMW, Intinia, and XP, Bosch may join. From the perspective of innovation awards, the number of entries increased by about 6%, but the number of innovation awards decreased. Counts vary slightly, but CES2025 shows about 360, CES2026 about 340, indicating a drop of roughly 20 items in total. Last year was 47%, just under 50%. This year 57.4%, nearly 60%. However, regarding this part, some people disparage CS, but I look at it in 2 ways. First, as noted earlier, apart from the US and China, our country is doing well. Second, domestic demand is weak, so we must export. And for us, that means going to the US now. Domestic firms' urgency shows, especially in hot fields like robotics and drones. Entries increased by about 30%. In the artificial intelligence category, counting them, it's 25 out of 37 in AI, 8 out of 15 in robotics, and 2 out of 5 in drones. And in digital health, 26 out of 37 awards went to Korean companies. That's how it stands. In this era of AI and robots, the 30% increase in AI/robots/drones was announced by CTA, and the figures below are our own manual counts, so there may be an error of 1 or 2. CTA, 4 keywords. Digital, mobility, robotics, plus sustainability, smart home, human security, accessibility. 8 may. Depending on the experts, views may differ, but the 6 additional keywords, food tech, pet tech, beauty tech, content and entertainment, XR, and spatial computing are in fact quite important. For the next devices beyond smartphones mentioned earlier, spatial computing can also enable robots to navigate indoors. Smart glasses, XR/spatial, plus fashion. Keynotes vital, because the keyword that dominated this year, physical AI, came from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's keynote, and it's quite important to see what vision AMD will present next. So let's look forward to AMD's presentation by CEO Lisa Su. You can also catch keynote talks from companies like Caterpillar, China's Lenovo, Habax BB in the content space, and Siemens. Looking at the press conference schedule as of December 6th, compared to CES's peak years, it has shrunk considerably. LG Electronics, Bosch, China's Hisense, Lego, then Hyundai, Duzan, then Sony and Honda, and China's Geely Auto and Pico are slated to be added to the schedule. Updated listed vendors. Samsung moved Quinn. They're going private, and TCL is stepping into the space Samsung left. It feels like a shift in balance, and I hope Samsung returns. I hope Korean appliance and auto firms regain momentum again. Among Germany's big three, Mercedes and Volkswagen aren't doing well. They're skipping for a second straight year. Only BMW is expanding its participation. Sony's existing booth has shifted to EVs under a fila. Hyundai Motor, which didn't participate last year, is expected to appear, likely with robotics and hydrogen as the main themes. Ford, Chuck, and Stellantis are not performing well. Among the major automakers, Toyota is the only one posting strong results, and China's seventh largest automaker will be participating for the second consecutive year. Please take note. Looking at the expected exhibits per the MILC's forecast, robots will likely take center stage for the Hyundai Motor Group. Some automotive technology will be included as well, with Boston Dynamics expected to have significant weight, and affiliates like Mobis and Hyundai are participating. Sony Honda will be showing EVs. We anticipate a strong emphasis on content. From LG Electronics, there's a focus on empathetic intelligence, and LG Innotek has recently invested heavily in autonomous driving sensors. They hold a 6% stake in EVA and have invested in smart radar system. And recently, EVA's LiDAR stock suddenly surged by about 20%. They reportedly met with a European automaker, likely Mercedes-Benz. There was also an article yesterday about Lumina, which had collaborated with Mercedes-Benz and Volvo, filing for bankruptcy. Interestingly, Lumina Semiconductor's laser tech was bought by a quantum firm. In quantum, lasers are crucial. Although Lumina says it will continue operating, major automakers could change suppliers. This isn't confirmed, but according to rumors, LG Electronics may help connect Mercedes-Benz with EVA, which could also help improve LG Innotek's performance. Also, Chinese appliances are quite a threat, especially in the TV market. You may recall that TCL TVs made a big splash in Korea this summer. Looking at the roundup published in September, it summarizes that data. Chinese QLED TVs are priced much lower, so I hope LG, Samsung, and other Korean firms can hold their ground. In TVs and home appliances, many are struggling amid the rise of Chinese players. Recently, there were articles noting that the Chinese TV market oversold last year. With government subsidies being reduced and the economy slowing, there's a question of how long those subsidies can continue. There are reports that Chinese TV makers are struggling. I hope Korean companies see a significant recovery next year. Go, you'll see the sphere. I made this page because last month, as president of the Korea Mobility Society, I visited G-Dragons, Galaxy Corporation, and had about a 3-hour meeting with its CEO, Choi Yong-ho. We gave a presentation and had discussions. And I think K-Entertainment Tech could become another breakthrough for Korea. And then we should also look at the loop. And then, recently, Amazon's Zoox began operating autonomous vehicles this year. If you're interested, give it a try. There's also talk that Motional is operating services, so it's worth noting for the Hyundai Group. Next, tech keywords. A. CES's top 4 first. We'll check industry and innovation trends for these 8 keywords: artificial intelligence, advanced mobility, robotics, digital health, sustainability, accessibility, smart home, and human security. Generative AI is drastically transforming industries, not only IT, but also through time compression. It's remaking chemicals, materials, and pharmaceuticals now. Physical AI transforms. In materials and pharma, tasks like material synthesis are using generative AI now. at LGH&H, finding cosmetic ingredients, fell from 1 year, 10 months to 1 day with Xroni, a case widely discussed by early 2024. Microsoft identified 18 candidate materials for EV batteries out of 32 million in 80 hours, work that would have taken about 20 years in a lab. This compression of time and accumulation of data is spreading from chemicals and pharmaceuticals into physics, machinery, robotics, vehicle, and autonomous driving, an important development. Then, as various devices embed, they will evolve into smart, AI-native devices, an important trend. US AI leaders each have unique strengths. For example, NVIDIA is strong in processors, and in Google's case, Gemini is strong in LLMs and multimodal AI. Meanwhile, these domains are increasingly overlapping. And recently, major companies are converging on physical AI. NVIDIA, beyond processors, is investing heavily to lead physical AI and is achieving success in robotics and autonomous driving. Likewise at Google, for example, with Gemini Robotics, and with extensive use of Google DeepMind's MuJoCo tool in robotics, there is significant effort going into physical AI. Then there's Meta's VJEPA world model, which addresses how robots understand the world through camera video, and the competitive landscape is increasingly overlapping. This will be another key topic. NVIDIA offers processors and tools. NVIDIA Thor won an innovation award at CES/CTA. Jensen Huang's presentation on physical AI was a significant boost for CTA. CES shows it leads tech trends. Not that we owe it thanks, but it did pick up innovation awards. NVIDIA tools tied to simulation, like Omniverse and Isaac Sim, are gaining weight. A thing to watch this year is the spread of Google's Gemini ecosystem, starting with autonomy inside automotive. Google is pitching a vehicle AI agent. This photo I took at a motor show in September. Then, Google demoed Gemini for cars. After a full briefing, no real wow. Still, looking deeper. Until now, in car vision and speech recognition were built by different vendors. Google's message with Gemini is, we'll handle the lot. Put Gemini into Android Automotive. Tie it to Google Maps and ship it in the car. Costs should drop somewhat. The expansion of a giant like this is really worrying and worth watching. In smart homes, what I call physical AI smart homes, they're putting Gemini into camera doorbells and AI speakers, and when a camera is present, AI analyzes the video. In short, Google wants to own the full stack, from the dash to the doorbell. Efficient, but concentrated. It can analyze who pressed the doorbell, how many times it was pressed in a day, and what happened inside. For example, if a cup suddenly broke, whether it was knocked over by someone or simply cracked, by analyzing the video. And there are developments in physical AI. Google's booth is likely to be a major highlight this time. Google also recently announced it will put Gemini into smart glasses. So we should note how Gemini is expanding into various hardware devices. In November, OpenAI disclosed an internal AI tool, after which related SaaS companies' stock prices temporarily fell. This underscores industry shifts driven by AI. Anthropic's share in the enterprise market is growing. Korea, Rebellions, Furiosa AI, DeepX, Mobilet, 5 Teams, Never Cloud, Upstage, Telecom, and CI, GAI. At CES, Rebellions partnered with Standard Energy to win an ESS Innovation Award, DeepX won one independently, and with 6FAB, they also received the Best of Innovation. Mobilent received an Innovation Award for its own Edge AI device. The processor category also won many innovation awards. It would be good to go and take a look. In the AI Innovation Awards, entries increased by nearly 30%, but the number of winners decreased by 18%. Therefore, the items that received innovation awards here can be seen as highly competitive. Korea won 25 out of 37, about 67%. This shows significant effort. The fields can be divided into roughly 4 areas: AI-based tech, core tech, platforms, R&D tech, application tech, software services, and hardware/devices. And most innovations today focus mainly on software services. Some of these connect directly to consumers, though they may not be foundational technologies for the future. I hope each company executes well. Initially, there were 3 Best of Innovation winners. On November 25th, there were 3 when first announced, but one was later removed. All 3 were Korean companies. One is a voice-centric AI wearable. Next, the startup Diffusion AI won Best of Innovation for an AI architecture recognizing the LAPA 4D music radar. Duzen Robotics' dual-arm robot, co-developed with Canada's Maple Advanced Robotics, was a Best of Innovation winner, but was omitted. So rather than deleting it, I left it noted. There was that. And then, looking at processors and cloud, there's NVIDIA DGX, the personal supercomputer they talked about. As mentioned, NVIDIA Thor is a supercomputer platform for robots and autonomous vehicles. It is intended for autonomous vehicles, but most early automotive applications have been by Chinese companies. Initially, Thor was rated around 2,000 TOPS, but tests in China showed about 750 TOPS. XPeng even built a processor with roughly 750 TOPS. It would be useful to compare China's AI competitiveness. Next, Qualcomm won an innovation award. Mobilent won one. Mobilent won for a desktop AI agent solution, an Edge AI PC it developed in-house. Next, Data Alliance won an innovation award for its decentralized GPU cloud service. On the platform side, there are areas such as charging, continuous care, and health. Platform-based areas include contract manufacturing, quantum key distribution, automation software, screen understanding, and AI automation agents. In core and application areas, especially health, there are solutions that use multimodal LLMs for content transformation. Wongjin continues to receive innovation awards annually, and notably this year, Serigem received a large number. They keep rolling out. Also Digital Therapeutic Melt, our CEO Kang Sung-ji's. There's AlgoCare as well, and then Gory Robotics. The robotics part isn't a software service. It's a robot that transports materials at construction sites. That came up a lot. Then there are several hardware/robotics items such as Happily Robotics and autonomous quadruped robot platforms. Next are integrated hardware offerings, portable NEPA layer measurement devices, on-device AI cervical screening systems, as well as items from Serigen. CT5 Inc. was mentioned earlier. We can review those, and things like earbuds or modules embedded in glasses, right? Offline AI glasses won innovation. Next, digital health. Now we move from diagnosis to treatment. As for treatments available now, VR therapy, for example, the mental health side, is where many people are quite anxious. With AI arriving and given economic conditions, job searching, employment, and so on, there are VR or psychology-based therapies. There are also modalities using pressure or airflow and mild electrotherapy, the sort of light treatments being discussed. In diagnostics too, non-invasive options abound. Next, one trend is personal treatment and personal care telemedicine. Another is that many solutions are emerging for physicians in professional medical systems. Looking at this year's trends, it was clearly the year of Wegovy and Mounjaro plus GLP-1. So, as discussed at CES20, by addressing obesity and blood sugar, midlife can be extended, leading to longevity. Then, when it comes to longevity, there's also the topic of dementia treatments. Dementia drugs like Leqembi and Kisunla are being commercialized. They affect cerebral blood vessels. Not just slightly. There were reports, for example, of 6 deaths in early treatment, so initial approvals emphasized that benefits outweigh adverse effects. There are quite a lot of side effects, but here's the thing. The annual cost of these dementia drugs is said to be about 30 to 50 million won, and even so, people want to pay to overcome dementia. So what the FDA recommends is to prescribe dementia treatments while continuously monitoring with an MRI. In this context, it's said that Korea is the best in the world at brain diagnosis using MRI, because MRI data is abundant, partly an outgrowth of health screenings and resulting overtreatment. A company called Murf AI is collaborating with major managing organizations. Drug development companies or hospitals use solutions during MRI examinations in the course of dementia treatment to diagnose whether abnormalities have occurred in the brain. And what's unfolding recently is similar to synthetic biology or biofoundries. We should consider the convergence of the bio, IT, and AI industries. And another aspect is how to protect Korea's data. For example, if you go to China, Tesla is in China, but the data trained in China cannot leave China. After visits, they say, tighten data protection. Another trend this year, CRISPR. Today, Intellia and CRISPR Therapeutics saw their stock prices surge and then drop. And while there have been issues such as liver toxicity at Intellia, recent months-long survival cases in gene-edited pig kidney transplants raise the question of whether CRISPR could be another breakthrough. It's not directly related to CSR, but it's worth watching. From the perspective of Korean industry, we should look at medical AI startups and data issues. Next, within diagnostics, there are various diagnostic areas. Midway, Dolbum Dream mentions non-invasive approaches, non-contact. Non-invasive methods are becoming a trend, and we are also seeing highly precise components and diagnostic capabilities suitable for medical use. In the case of Nutrix, it became an issue last year. You place it in your mouth to precisely measure testosterone from saliva. Wearable patches. Then, at the very bottom here, there are XR-based grief and loss therapy platforms, and offerings for stress or depression relief, such as Miro TX. Lightweight therapies that don't go as far as surgery. There's also something like G-Brain, a wireless neurostimulation system, which we should keep an eye on. Saragen received an innovation award for a system that automatically sprays after a skin diagnosis. Colmer has one as well. Next, many wearables are entering digital health. First, DNCs. DNCs is here in Korea now. DNC's Innovation is a US company. Wearable robot, Cosmo Robotics. Korea University of Technology and Education. Professor Kim Young-jae's We Robotics received an Innovation Award for a walking assistance robot and plans to unveil the humanoid Alex on site. Then, we can go through and check the other parts. The sustainability part is the eco-friendly part. Battery section. Energy storage devices or battery section. Renewable energy power. Purification section. First up is Capco, which offers a hybrid, eco-friendly energy storage system. To store renewable energy, we use ESS with batteries, including second life batteries. But there can be degradation and other battery-related issues. Here, they propose a system that stores energy using compressed air. So they received an Innovation Award for that. Down here, we have rebellions from Korea. I hope they do well. Next was a solution that reduces power consumption in ESS through an AI processor. Next are renewable energy and power infrastructure technologies. And purification and eco-friendly materials. Purification is quite important. As the world gets hotter and dirtier, how will we purify air and water? And in deserts, like in the Middle East, there's the issue of desalination. There are several aspects to consider. This is something I couldn't include in the materials. Embedded systems, construction materials, and industrial areas. There are related technologies there as well, so please refer to them. It's in the mobility sector. The same goes for home appliances, where the growth of the Chinese industry is making existing ecosystems quite challenging. In July 2023, for the first time, Chinese homegrown car brands topped 50% in China. Heading into 2025, it's about 68% in November 2024, effectively rounded to roughly 70%. So, early in 2024, the BYD chairman said that within 3 years Chinese domestic cars could reach 90%, but that seems difficult to achieve. The second is that foreign brands, like Volkswagen, which recently launched a vehicle in China that was fully designed there on the Xpeng platform, are using Chinese technology and components to lower costs. There are two issues. In Germany, the automotive parts ecosystem is nearing collapse. For Korea too, deciding how to preserve our own ecosystem is becoming increasingly crucial. Anyway, in that context, Hyundai overtakes Volkswagen and climbs to number 2 in operating profit from the third quarter of 2024. Then in 2025, they unexpectedly faced difficulties due to US import car tariffs. China, US strain. Tariffs 15% NOV. Profits up to R&D. Key auto issue. Last year, we looked at 2024 Q3 too. Hyundai reached number 1 in operating profit for the first time. And Hyundai Kia's combined operating profit fell 40% due to tariffs and other issues. Even so, they maintained about $4 billion. Volkswagen posted a loss of roughly $1.5 billion. Nearly 2 trillion won. So it's in a very difficult position. Hence the pivot toward lower-cost EVs. They're moving toward low-cost EVs. For example, by grouping brands such as Spain's Cupra, the Czech Republic's Skoda, and Volkswagen under a common platform to build affordable EVs, while strengthening cooperation with China. This is Volkswagen's strategy. As for Mercedes, in Q1 it was about half of Hyundai Kia, but by Q3 it had fallen about 70% to roughly 1/5. Mercedes is in a rather difficult situation, and its strategy is further premiumization. Chinese parts, BMW steady, Hyundai Kia 60%. Recently, there are signs that trends such as subsidy cuts could emerge among Chinese EV makers. And as internal competition intensifies, issues are arising. Still, if that happens, Beijing could streamline the sector and leave only a few players. So they must keep pushing hard. From Hyundai Kia's view, next year's results should rise sharply thanks to the US tariff deal. Yet as the market center shifts to the US, Korea must safeguard competitiveness and sustain its industrial ecosystem. Looking at this year, as mentioned, Luminar's leader with Mercedes and Volvo, and examples of Mercedes-EVA cooperation. Anyway, the next generation platform has been commercialized based on NVIDIA processors. Then, in the US, commercialization of autonomous trucks has started, centered on Aurora and led by former Google executive CEO Chris Urmson. So, these are trucks that connect terminal to terminal without a driver. In the US, logistics favor trucks over rail, nearing a quadrillion won. So they're backing long-haul self-driving trucks and pushing urban autonomy projects and services, with Waymo and Tesla competing closely. Next, Korea's autonomous A2Z has a collaboration and joint venture in Abu Dhabi. They finalized the agreement around November, and I hope it goes well. Anyway, the autonomous driving market is expected to start growing in earnest around 2026. I think I said something similar last year. And for electric vehicles, the EV market is growing significantly in almost every country. That's the situation, and I hope Korean companies perform well in this area. Next, UAM companies like Joby and Archer are getting closer to FAA certification, and both achieved innovative milestones this year. First, in Joby's case, they demonstrated airport-to-airport travel. In Archer's case, they showed genuinely long-range flight. For long-distance service, phased rollout starts in 2026. Other firms may struggle. As we move ahead in earnest with Joby or Archer, keep that in mind. Next, what we also need to pay attention to is eco-friendly ships. For example, when you go on a fjord tour, fuel can run low. There's vibration and odor, and it's disheartening to see the environmental damage. By switching to eco-friendly electric propulsion vessels, it's quiet and there's no pollution. Because of this, many electric propulsion vessels are operating in Northern Europe, and recently, since the start of this year, the eco-friendly ship trend has been emerging strongly in the US and China as well. I hope Korea links strong shipbuilding and auto industries to lead eco-friendly shipbuilding. But one variable, US. Saudi won one-year carbon tax delay, may die after. Green ships trend. Hanwha Ocean's 60 trillion won Canadian sub bid. Hope they win. So, watch this year's vehicle exhibits. Honda, BMW, Sony, Honda, as mentioned. Next, Densa. Claimed L4, but inherited Chinese AutoX. AutoX is gone. CEO unchanged. The CEO is the same person. He used to use a Chinese name and now uses an English name, while claiming they're a US company. You can go and take a look. Mobility Innovation Award trends highlight 4 areas: autonomous driving, electrification, interior space/display, autonomous driving, EV electrification, AI technologies for predicting fire risks and abnormal situations, and interior space and displays are becoming increasingly important, more vital as autonomy grows. Personal mobility, Viren Technology, Korea's self-driving firm. Next, Holdme, HAL, construction-related companies within the HL group. That's one way to look at it. LGM3, Samsung SDI, in Chevy's Charger wall. AI technology is mainly in abnormal situation diagnostics, bump/road anomaly detection, tire condition prediction systems, and so on. And for interior space and displays, treating the car as an interior space, there are various technologies for that. Hyundai Mobis's holographic windshield display also won an innovation award. LG Inattack, Samsung each got one. Robots, AI speeds learning. Then there's the VLA area, vision language action. Industrial automation and the spread of humanoids. It's about how humanoids will develop going forward. Looking at it now, even the CEO of Elon Musk's company is asking whether humanoids mean we even need factories. It may be a different matter. They'll mass produce humanoids in huge numbers, including general-purpose robots. So, some are used in production, some in homes, and some in hospitals. As prices fall, there is a view that humanoids will bring a new wave of innovation to industry, which is worth noting. Next is VLA, Vision Language Action. When a user gives a command, it parses the instruction, perceives with vision, and generates actions via an action decoder. Worth a look. This is OpenVLA running on open source. There is a lot happening with humanoids. Notably Tesla's Optimus, slated for full-scale mass production in 2026. Robot hands increasing from 11 to 22 degrees of freedom. This year's developments from Boston Dynamics, Figure, which will collaborate with BMW, China's Uptech and Unitree, and Agility Robotics' Digit, for which large-scale factories are being built. These are good references to watch. This year, Boston Dynamics' Atlas is expected to appear. We should go take a look. Then there's Unitree from China, and a US humanoid company called Realbotics. Next, robot hands. Since robot hands are important, we should take a look. At the North Hall, the Ministry of Industry and the K-Humanoid Alliance have set up a humanoid pavilion. Please visit the North Hall and show your support. In Robotics Innovation Award, 59C mounts a large robot arm on vehicles to assist. Gory Robotics has solutions for construction materials handling, and HL Robotics of HL Group, winner of a 2024 Best of Innovation Award, has adapted its parking robot into an ultra-slim, autonomous mobile robot capable of moving heavy loads. Next, Dusan Robotics and Canada's Maple Advanced Robotics showed an ADOF robot. You can also look at Hurotics' wearable robots. And the Sharpa Wave humanoid robot hand segment. Tesla's current Optimus hand has 11 degrees of freedom. And early next year, they will introduce a 22 DOF robotic hand. Tesla suggests that around 22 DOF is sufficient for many tasks. Roughly 20 DOF seems to be a trend for robot hands. As for what's coming next, currently, if the US bans Chinese drones, companies operating in the US and Korea could benefit. Pablo AIRE is a UAM company. Stellivision, for example, is making compact radars. You can also look at other Innovation Award winners. As for smart homes, this year has been a difficult one. Samsung and LG had a rough year in TV/appliances. Only TCL and Hisense gained share. For 2025, their shipments are up sharply year over year. However, the recent downturn in the Chinese market may affect some Chinese vendors. Samsung continues to talk about an AI smart home that approaches zero housework, hands-free. and it plans to connect everything through smart things. They are talking about a smart home that connects and understands the entire house. And LG, for its part, is discussing empathetic intelligence, unified TV, appliances, robots. In smart home-related innovation awards, no connected services, personalized smart homes, on-device AI and privacy, and robot vacuums. There are also sleep tech and smart mattress categories. Sarajum appears frequently. There were also entries in outdoor/DIY/construction, and robots or drones related to smart homes are becoming a topic. Right now, robot vacuums are the only mobile devices in smart homes. How their services expand, including humanoids, will steer the future. Also, personalized services like smart toilets emerge occasionally. Then there are Sarajum entries. It's worth looking at various personalized services. There are 3 Sarajum entries. These fall under personalized services. HS4A began when CES discussed human security, framing it as the global North-South divide, developing issue. The idea was that developed countries and the strong should help developing countries and the weak, but those moral premises were largely shattered after COVID-19. Various wars have broken out, and recently, rather than political messaging, the focus has narrowed to 3 areas. Food. To protect humanity under human security, we are looking at 3. Food, incidents, accidents, and disasters, and disease prevention. Food moved. Incident/disease, tech added. This includes prediction of incidents and accidents, fires, and other safety-related areas. There is HL Mando's real-time tire road surface monitoring system, autonomous firefighting robots, and many disease prevention solutions. In some ways, the disease prevention focus overlaps with digital health. Also important are aging and longevity, how to address them, and how to support people with disabilities and older adults. Narcotics, which I've shown on YouTube, lets you control devices with head movements by inserting an earboard. At CES 2025, an interesting device provides a byte-based click, essentially a mouse-click interface, and it won a top award. Then there is Wongjin Thing, Big's reading platform for those with poor eyesight, and wearable assistive devices, starting with Roomway and solutions that read on your behalf and convey information for the eyes and ears. There are smart personal mobility offerings and smart health solutions as well. Next, Mandro. It began with prosthetic hands and has since evolved to building robots. Humanoids. Mandro 1. We have reviewed 8 major keywords. Now let's look at 6 emerging trends. In particular, XR spatial computing and content and entertainment are expected to become major trends soon. Food tech, smartphones, Sarajum. Next, in beauty tech, MRI Pacific has been winning innovation awards year after year. Competitors have also appeared. LG Household and Healthcare, LGH&H, and Cosmax all appeared. Sarajum too. Plenty of Korean companies indeed. Cosmetics, linked with K-dramas, are becoming a major industry in Korea. And now, in every country, the pet market is growing due to aging populations and single-person households. So we should take a look at technologies for companion animals. Yes. Next, in content and entertainment, there are quite a lot of Korean technologies. So there are technologies like AI Park Honseo University. Then there's NationN, a company that has been winning innovation awards recently. Text, speech, video, 3D. So in content, K-Entertech, tied to K-dramas, looks set to become another important industry for Korea. Beyond shipbuilding and defense, K-pop, K-drama, and K-entertainment tech warrant serious attention. Next, XR and spatial computing face two issues. First, accurate indoor space recognition. Oh, robots matter. CM precision prevents collisions, damage. Then smart glasses, important as the next device after smartphones. And the various content market opportunities on smart glasses are things we should examine. Studio Lab, Korean, repeat innovation winner. Content creation and automation, converting offline stores into brand experience showrooms. Then the Galaxy SR area. And from a recent Google article, the intention to pursue smart glasses in earnest. These are all important areas to watch. Nation and again, not earbuds. Smart glasses are key. Next, in fashion tech, while it may be similar to beauty tech, there are also a variety of new technologies emerging. Look at 5 innovation trends. They're enterprise technology. As mentioned earlier, it would be good to consider construction and industrial sectors together. And what we should look at includes a 6th-generation AI edge computer with DeepX's NPU, which won an innovation award. Then Audio Lab, an audio specialist led by CEO Oh Hyun-ho, providing AI-based dubbing, subtitles, and music replacement. Next, in EdTech, for example, reading via LLMs or learning through vision is becoming mainstream, worth a look. Then there's travel and tourism with LBS Tech, followed by supply and logistics. And in filmmaking and distribution, some award winners were omitted, but overall AI and robotics, namely physical AI and generative AI, have reshaped industry over the past year. We should look at these two trends first, then mobility and digital health, along with sustainability, accessibility, smart home, and human security as the 8 key keywords that CES is addressing. Human factors and robotics will be very important. Korea accounted for nearly 60% of the Innovation Award-winning products. I hope all the companies participating next year achieve strong results, and that those who do not participate also do well. Then, for years, cuts to startups and R&D investment made it tough. Because with R&D you can't predict when tech will succeed or how it will make money. We need to keep investing. Hence the need for government investment and growth support. Consider AI, spatial continuity, human security, inclusion, data/security, sustainable tech, digital health, convergence, regulation. CTA and CES deem Korea vital. CEO Gary Shapiro often visits. Korea leads innovation in semiconductors, smart homes, TV, and energy. Agreed. Strong 2026. Keep investing in tech. This brings me to the conclusion of my presentation. If you have questions later, please get in touch. We have come through a difficult 2025. I wish all Korean companies and industries great success in 2026. See you at CES.